what's up you guys? So this is Future Rob completely hijacking this video. I actually went ahead and recorded this because I thought it was very important for you guys to know. We're gonna get our little hashtag confirmed on before the rest of this video, which covers all of the Dojo updates. Well, not all of the Dojo updates. Like, I covered the patch notes that you need to know about because there are some very interesting things that released with today's updates but kind of got buried in all of the text. So stay tuned for that after this little announcement. However, Future Rob could not contain himself after watching Primetime tonight. Holy fuck, they definitely did some teasers and some spoilers and like, what? So straight out of the gates, first and foremost, they did talk about the fact that Nidus will be getting a deluxe skin. They didn't show off any assets, so, you know, don't get too excited, but they said that it was something in the works, and Nidus is one of those characters that is fairly iconic. You guys know that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of him, but hey, Fashion Frame, he's got mutations going on, so I can't wait to see what they end up doing with that for the deluxe skin. Moving along to the next bit, because this was Primetime 200, they had something a little special going on. They actually showed off kind of like this fighting game concept that they were working with, like, in-game. Now, the thing is, we've seen Wormius, we've seen Flappy Bird. This is very, very similar to that. Now, clearly, you know, this is all early days. So, we don't know when we'll end up seeing this in game or if we'll end up seeing this in game, but they did mention that they did want to bring it in. I mean, they've worked on it, so why not freaking bring it along with there? So they look like standard combat. There's seen some, you know, there's ground pounds and there's throws and there's like their abilities are like used in there. So I think it'll be really, really fun to see. But the thing that got me super juiced, and I was like, Rob, you can't wait on this, is that towards the end, they actually went ahead and pulled Zephyr Prime's model from in-game, and we actually get our first glimpse. And let me tell you right now, she looks even better than she does in the promo material. Now, in the promo material, like, she's got like shortened like feathers and stuff like that, and we don't get to really see as much of the body. But holy shit, as you can see here, she's got big old feathers that come out from her wrists. And if you look very, very closely, she's got like this jet propulsion that comes out of her calves. I was like, what? She is ready for flight. I'm super, super, super excited for it. She looks absolutely amazing. And I almost kind of wish that they had used this in all of like the graphics and all of the imagery that they put out, because she looks even better here. Now clearly, I did not know that this was gonna happen. I figured that I would turn on Primetime while I was editing. And it was a good catch because all of this kind of stuff drops. So you don't get to hear me talk about this towards the end of the video, you know, where I ask you to figure out, you know, talk about your comments and stuff. But let me know how you feel in the comments below about, number one, the Zephyr Prime model. Number two, are you excited for Nidus's deluxe skin? Let me know exactly what you kind of want to see his theme as. And would you play a fighting game in Warframe? Like, do you guys play Wormius or Flappy Zephyr whatsoever? I know that I don't touch them, and I probably won't play the fighting game too much, but I think it's a really, really interesting. Anyway, with that all out of my system, I'm gonna go ahead and let Past Rob tell you about some of the patch notes you may have missed. Hey, what's up you guys, this is Rob from Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be having a chat about update 22.16.0, kind of along the lines of Rob reads you shit that you probably aren't going to read yourself. However, I'm going to have it in a weird, like, condensed version, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, this update was mainly about, like, ship decorations and the new Dojo decorations and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm not really like a Dojo decoration kind of boy. That's never been my jam. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that up to Mogamu. He's got his own placement and his own architects. I'm like, y'all have fun with that. But I went through the patch notes and there were definitely some things that I thought people could miss in that whole mix. Mainly because of the fact that it is mainly Dojo focused, and some people are probably gonna be like, oh, Dojo stuff? Peace out. So I thought I would go ahead and cover some of the Dojo stuff and then some of the more interesting stuff that goes along with it, like Eidolon, some cosmetic stuff. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump on in. So straight out of the gate, we're going to start with Dojos and ship decorations. Placing decorations now uses a free cam technology similar to Captura. Now I've actually gone ahead and played around with this myself. It's a little bit confusing at first, but once you kind of start getting used to it, I just say press some buttons until everything makes sense. And I was able to kind of place things a little bit easier, and it's cool because it has this new like ascension and descension thing. And I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but the inside of my ship has a bunch of those mini like little bonsai trees, and I like putting them in like cool like ascending kind of like escalating stuff, so that helped out a ton. Decorations in both the dojo and the orbiter can now be placed mid-air, so that's the thing that they were chatting about. Decoration placement bindings are customized at the bottom of the option and controls. It's really odd. I suggest if you haven't already played with it, just jump in and kind of experiment with how it feels. It feels a little overwhelming at first, but once you get used to it, you'll get your groove on. Added new placeable orbiter decorations, the Equinox Day Form Noggle, the Equinox Night Form Noggle, the Equinox Combined Form Noggle. So for all of you Equinox fans out there, now you have 3 variations that you can place on your ship. There's also a Ropaka planter, a Daru planter, and our Aranya planter, and a new pet bed. I'm probably going to pick up one of the planters to see exactly how it goes. I'll probably toss it in the background right now because I'm not actually, you know, recording what's going on in the background live, but I'll pick up one just so you can see kind of how it goes, because I think that it's actually going to attach to the bottom of the trees, which are currently floating. Revamp your dojo with the all-new faction-themed dojo decorations and FX decorations. Over 60 new decorations to choose from to give your dojo a whole new vibe. Dojos have received improved lighting. Load straight into any mission from the dojo by accessing the star chart in the observatory room. So now you don't actually have to be on your ship. You can just go to your dojo, and then maybe you want to jump on Earth to grab something from Cetus. You can actually have some improvements there. You can access your arsenal via the escape menu if you have completed the observatory room in your dojo. Tons of people were asking for this. I guess a lot of people have been doing a bunch of dueling in their dojos, and it can be a little bit of a pain if you guys want to switch out loadouts, but now you can do it in your dojo, which is absolutely amazing. They've also increased the decoration capacity in all dojo rooms, which is pretty goddamn awesome. The other thing that I did want to notice, which is somewhere here, we were also talking about the fact that, you know, you need to change things in your dojo. In Cetus, you know how I was saying Cetus, you can actually customize your operator and access your focus trees while in Cetus as well. So that's pretty freaking dope. Next thing is they've included some Discord, I guess, Discord link-upness. They call it the Discord Rich Presence. Let your Discord friends see where and what you're playing on Warframe. If enabled, your Discord account will show the following information in real time while you play: mission type and difficulty level, planet and node, and open spots in your squad. So if you know you're really linked up to your Discord, this is fantastic. So that way people can be like, oh, like, you're free. Do you, like, maybe I can join you. Maybe you're trying to make some new friends. I don't know what it is like you're in your Discord, but at least this will be a good way for people to be able to socialize just a little bit more. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, this is something us content creators have been asking for a while, and I'm feeling real good. Added a chat command to enable Do Not Disturb, aka offline mode. Enabling this will prevent any new private messages and mission invites from appearing. If you have a private conversation tab active, or if you initiate a private conversation, you will still be able to communicate. AKA, this is the if you don't want to deal with no one. If you don't want to deal with anybody, you don't want people sending you invites, you don't want people sending you like random odd messages. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate them and I think that they're very sweet, but sometimes if I'm just trying to like get pure Captura stuff, I've had people where they would just fucking jump in to in the middle of Captura, or would send you messages. I'm like, I'm trying to record this one part, or I'm trying to, like, you know, get pictures for this one thing, and it just ruins the whole moment. Now we can appear in offline mode. So if you guys want to do that, you can enable Do Not Disturb by typing /offline in chat, and to disable /offline again so that you can toggle it on. Now this is really cool because we're going to be talking about Eidolons now, and you know, listen, I've been playing with the new Eidolons. They're okay. So they improved the Eidolon hitbox sizes on the Eidolon Synovias to make them easier to hit when moving. Y'all know some of those shoulder blades can be annoying as fuck. Those shoulder blade sections up in the back, like, they could be a little bit of a pain sometimes. So that's a plus. It's a plus. Now, one of the other things that we want to talk about with the Eidolons is shards. As most Tenno have discovered, Eidolon shards are necessary to continue your hunt for the Gonchalist and the Hydralist. These changes are not towards the shrine mechanic itself, but the way the shards are consumed if an unfortunate host migration or loss of connection occurs. So that way y'all don't get fucked over, okay? So Brilliant/Radiant shards are not removed from the player inventory until the respective Eidolon spawns. So if you only 3 you put your shit in and something fucked up happens, it's not actually going to be removed until that Eidolon comes into being. All shards removed. Okay, let me make sure. Players can now remove their shard after inserting it into the shrine until the Eidolon spawns, at which it is removed from their inventories and consumed by the shrine. So if y'all change your mind or something happened and you gotta go, you could take your shard and you could leave and not even worry about it. All shards are removed from the shrine and returned to the player inventories if a host migration occurs before the Eidolon spawns. All shards are removed from the shrine and returned to the player's inventories if night ends before the respective Eidolon spawns. All shards are removed from the shrine and returned to the player inventories if players extract from the plains before the Eidolon spawns. Vomvalis no longer drop sentient cores when they are auto-killed at sunrise. Unlike vampires, Vomvalis are not killed by the sun, they just go back to where they came from. And again, wanted to touch on this, is you can now customize your operator and access your focus trees while in Cetus. That's where I had it to begin with. It was like a whole Cetus clump. Which is nice because I'm going to be honest with you, I fucking forget to swap focus schools when I go, because usually it's just like a phone call like, hey, you want to go take on an Eidolon? I'm like, yeah, let's go take on an Eidolon. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I just load in and I'm like, oh shit, not the right focus school. Not that it's like 100% necessary, but sometimes it's nice to be able to swap it when you feel like it. Now, the last little bits that we do have here is that the Boltor Prime status chance has increased from 32% to 34%, so 2% bonus there for all of you Boltor Prime fanatics. And to kind of go along with that, they have updated the Verissimo Syandana and Boltor Prime Bravara skin material to appear more metallic, to better match the Octavia Maestra skin. Now, you guys know that this is something that I asked for. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is all of this matte, but Octavia is so like shiny? Like this, they don't fit together. So it's nice to see DE making a cohesive deluxe collection. I loved it. I probably have it on the screen right now because I think it looks worlds better. Worlds better. I will definitely rock that Bravara skin on the Boltor. It's fantastic. And then they've also, and this isn't something that I've checked out, but if it looks dramatically different, we'll see it on screen right now. They've also updated the look of Necros' Shadows of the Dead minions to help players better differentiate between them and real enemies, because I am guilty. I am guilty of trying very hard to kill those goddamn enemies. Because like the Necros is not using like what do you call Shield of Shadows, and they don't have the strings attached to them. I'm like, who is this bitch over here? Can you die? I'm like, why aren't you dying? I'm like, DE, your game's bugged. And I'm like, oh wait, no, Necros is on our team. We got Shadows of the Dead going, so that's definitely a big bonus. So we've got all of those things plus more. There are even more things that are in there. However, these are the things that I chose to kind of like focus on. I believe that there's a lot of changes. A couple of the skin textures happened to the latest Ninja skin. I think it's a Draken skin. I believe there's also a Syandana that got an upgrade in textures, and one other skin as well that got changed. So check your fashion frames just in case you picked up any of those. But this was kind of like the main focus. And the last thing that I kind of wanted to leave this out on, just because I think this is kind of an important thing to note. I've heard comments, and I think it's a little bit entitled and a little bit like a little bitchy, saying that, oh, DE hasn't released new content. But if I'm gonna be frank with you, when I went through the patch notes, because literally all of this information that we just went through was scattered amongst an insane amount of patch notes, and I'm guilty of this too. I'll read the first half and then I'll look at all of the fixes and all the changes down the bottom. I'm like, that's too much for me to read. And I think that we just focus on the top bit. You're like, oh, what's the new thing DE has released for us? And we're like, wow, look at this, you know? And then we completely ignore all of the updates, fixes, and changes that are down at the bottom. And I think that we forget that all of those things require human resources, or like I want to call them man hours, but it's not necessarily men that are all working on them. Sometimes it's women too. People hours. It takes people hours to get all of that stuff done. So if we kind of sit here, you know, on our gamer thrones and we're like, oh, beautiful new dojo things you've given to us, but we don't acknowledge all of the other fixes and all of the other changes that are going on in the background, it can sometimes feel like, oh, DE's not doing that much for us. But in reality, if we pay attention to all of those changes, all of the upgrades, all of the little things that maybe we skip out on the patch notes, it can be very easy to feel like, well, what have you put out, DE? You haven't put anything out. And a part of me is like, I looked through the patch notes today and there were so many changes that I was like, it's too much. So be thankful for all of the fixes, all of the changes, all of the new weapon upgrades that came through. Be glad for all of that kind of stuff, and be patient with DE. I'm there too sometimes where I'm like, DE, but I need, you know, I need a little something, like what's going on? Like I'm missing out on my Korra, I'm missing out on X, Y, and Z. But today I kind of got to look through all of the notes and all of the changes that were there, and I was like, yeah, DE's on their hustle. DE might not be hustling on the things that I want them to hustle on, but they're hustling. So that about does it for me. That's how I'm gonna close it. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo orbiter, because that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be fucking around my orbiter for a while. So you guys have a good day, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.